Arsenal's pursuit of young Norwegian talent Sverre Halseth Nypan is heating up as the 18-year-old midfielder impresses at Rosenborg. Competing with Manchester City for his signature, Nypan's technical skills could be a key addition to Mikel Arteta's midfield. Meanwhile, Raheem Sterling struggles at Arsenal raise questions about his future, with the 30-year-old yet to find his best form. Despite these challenges, Arteta's team continues to show promise, as evidenced in their recent 2-2 draw against Aston Villa. The club's focus remains on building a competitive squad for the future. Towards the end of last summer's transfer window, reports started circulating about a teenage wonderkid from Norway, Sverre Halseth Nypan, and his potential move to the Premier League. Fast forward a few months, and those rumors seem to have been spot on. Now, Arsenal are reportedly pushing to sign the 18-year-old midfielder in January, following months of close monitoring. With the Gunners battling it out with Manchester City for his signature, this is one transfer saga that's capturing the attention of fans across Europe. Nypan's rise has been nothing short of spectacular. He made his first team debut for Rosenborg at just 15, and over the past few seasons, he's become an integral part of their midfield. Last year, Nypan was directly involved in 15 goals across 29 appearances, showcasing his ability to influence games both in terms of goals and assists. But it's not just his goal contributions that have turned heads. His ball-carrying ability, vision, and range of passing have been hailed as exceptional, making him one of the most exciting young talents in Europe. So why exactly are Arsenal so keen on bringing him to North London? For starters, Nypan's style of play fits perfectly with the Gunners' current approach. Mikel Arteta has emphasized the importance of ball control, quick transitions, and technical excellence, qualities Nypan possesses in abundance. Arsenal have been making a habit of investing in young, talented players, and Nypan, with his versatility and potential, ticks all the right boxes. David Ornstein, speaking on the Athletic FC podcast, confirmed Arsenal's interest, noting that Nypan himself is eager to join the club. According to Ornstein, he'd be very keen on a move to Arsenal. They like him. This has only added fuel to the fire, confirming that the Gunners are serious about securing his future at the club. While Nypan's rise has inevitably led to comparisons with fellow Norwegian Martin Ødegaard, the two players offer slightly different profiles. Nypan is more of a box-to-box midfielder with a knack for driving the ball forward and picking out key passes, while Ødegaard is known for his creativity and vision in the final third. However, the similarities between the two, especially in terms of their technical abilities, have led many to suggest that Nypan could be the perfect complement to Ødegaard in the Arsenal midfield. The transfer race, however, is heating up. Alongside Arsenal, Manchester City are also reportedly interested in signing Nypan, and the teenager has no shortage of suitors across Europe. TV2 has confirmed that both clubs are among a long list of teams eyeing the young midfielder, with Nypan's asking price believed to be in the region of £10 million. As the January transfer window draws to a close, the decision on Nypan's future is expected to be made in the coming weeks. With Arsenal already in the hunt, they'll be hoping to beat out the competition and secure another key signing. Rumors have been swirling about Nypan's next move, and with the player's future seemingly up for grabs, it's clear that a lot is riding on this decision. Will he be tempted by the bright lights of the Premier League and join a team with ambitions to challenge for titles, or will he stay at Rosenborg for another year? The transfer window is always full of speculation, but this is one story that's certainly keeping fans on the edge of their seats. For Arsenal, landing Nypan would represent a huge statement of intent. It would show their commitment to building a future around talented young players, with Nypan being a potential cornerstone of their midfield for years to come. His arrival could further strengthen Arteta's squad and add much-needed depth to the engine room, giving the manager more tactical options as he looks to push for even greater success. It's clear that Arsenal are planning for the long term, and Nypan could very well be part of that vision. To wrap it up, the chase for Sverre Halseth Nypan is an exciting one for Arsenal fans. With his talent, his desire to make the move, and the Gunners' interest, this transfer could be just what the club needs to take the next step forward. As always, stay tuned for any updates. This is one deal that could change the course of Arsenal's season and beyond. Raheem Sterling's journey through the Premier League has been nothing short of captivating. Rising from the youth ranks at Liverpool, Sterling's early years were filled with promise. His lightning pace, technical ability, and fearless attacking style caught the eyes of fans and critics alike. But it was during his time at Manchester City where he truly made a name for himself. Under Pep Guardiola's guidance, Sterling flourished, becoming one of the league's most dangerous wingers. He played a pivotal role in helping City claim multiple Premier League titles, FA Cups, and League Cups, consistently delivering with goals, assists, and work rate. However, not all parts of his career have been so smooth. After a few seasons of standout performances, things started to shift when he made the move to Chelsea. The switch to Stamford Bridge was supposed to reignite Sterling's career and offer him a fresh challenge. Instead, it turned into a period of frustration. Sterling's form dropped, and he found himself in and out of the starting lineup. It became increasingly clear that his time at Chelsea wasn't living up to expectations, and by the end of his first season there, his place in the England squad was no longer guaranteed. Despite his earlier success, there were now serious questions about whether Sterling had lost his edge. Then came Arsenal, a club on the rise, brimming with youthful energy and ambition under Mikel Arteta. The Gunners were looking to build a squad that could compete at the top of the Premier League, and Arteta saw an opportunity in Sterling. It wasn't just about his ability, it was about his experience. Sterling had been through the highs of winning trophies and the lows of struggling with form, and Arteta believed that a player of his caliber could help Arsenal's younger stars mature and push the squad to the next level. The signing made sense on paper. Sterling was a proven performer who had played in some of the biggest games and had the mentality to succeed in pressure situations. Sterling, for his part, was eager to prove himself again. Having faced criticism at Chelsea, he viewed the move to Arsenal as an opportunity to get back to his best, to show the world he still had the magic that made him a household name. At 30, Sterling wasn't ready to fade into obscurity. He was determined to push himself and remind people why he had once been considered one of the most exciting players in the Premier League. But as we've seen, things rarely go according to plan. When Raheem Sterling first arrived at Arsenal, the hope was that his experience and creativity would add a new dimension to the attack. Yet, his performances have been far from the electrifying displays we saw in his prime. While other key players, particularly Arsenal's younger talents like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah, have been flourishing and stepping up, Sterling's impact has been underwhelming at best. Instead of being the game changer he was brought in to be, he's often looked like a shadow of his former self. Many fans and pundits have questioned whether Sterling's best days are behind him. His pace, once his greatest asset, hasn't been as explosive. His decision-making has been inconsistent, and at times, he seemed hesitant in the final third, something we never saw at City. It's clear that while Sterling still has flashes of quality, he hasn't been able to string those moments together consistently. Even more concerning for Arteta and the fans is the fact that Sterling's struggles haven't been about a lack of effort. His work rate has been there, but his confidence has been low. According to reports from the Daily Mail, Arsenal sources have suggested that Sterling's biggest issue is a crisis of confidence. It seems that in some of the biggest moments, he's been overthinking his decisions, second-guessing himself when he once acted instinctively. The flashes of brilliance we saw in his early years at Liverpool and City have been replaced by uncertainty, and that has undoubtedly affected his performances. His underwhelming displays have raised a bigger question. Does he still have the hunger and confidence to compete at the highest level? Looking ahead, the future of Raheem Sterling at Arsenal is filled with uncertainty. At 30, some are wondering if we're witnessing the natural decline of a player who has already given so much. It's difficult to imagine him regaining the same explosive form he had in his early 20s, especially with younger, quicker players pushing him for his spot in the team. The speculation surrounding his future is rife. Some suggest that if Sterling's form doesn't improve soon, Arsenal could look to offload him in the summer. In fact, it's becoming increasingly unlikely that Sterling will secure a permanent place at the club unless his performances dramatically improve. His struggles have led many to question whether the gamble Arsenal took in bringing him in was worth it. With so many exciting young talents already at Arsenal, the need for a 30-year-old with a questionable future becomes harder to justify. If he can't produce the goods over the next few months, Arsenal might have to cut their losses, especially with the club needing players who can consistently perform at the highest level. On the flip side, there's still hope that Sterling can turn things around. The second half of the season will be critical for him. He has the chance to silence the doubters and show that he still has what it takes to be a valuable asset to this Arsenal squad. But if that doesn't happen, we may see him leave the club, perhaps even without a permanent transfer, but as a player whose career at Arsenal simply never took off. When Arsenal decided to bring Sterling to the Emirates, they took a gamble. It was a calculated risk. Sterling's experience, his big game mentality, and his history of winning trophies all pointed to a player who could add something special to the squad. However, the gamble hasn't paid off, at least not yet. And now, with each underwhelming performance, the question must be asked, is it time for Arsenal to cut their losses? It's clear that Arteta has put his trust in Sterling, but at what point does the manager shift his focus to younger, hungrier players who can bring consistent performances? Arsenal's future is one of development and ambition, and they cannot afford to carry players who are struggling to regain their form. It's no longer about potential, it's about results. The club has made huge strides forward in recent years, and with every passing match, the pressure to succeed increases. Sterling's next few months at Arsenal will likely decide his future at the club. If he can find his confidence and contribute to the team in a meaningful way, he may still have a role to play in Arsenal's future. But if he continues to struggle, the club may have to reassess whether they should invest more time and resources into his development, or if it's time to look elsewhere. The future of Sterling at Arsenal is in his hands, and the coming months will be crucial in determining whether he stays or goes. In the end, Sterling's time at Arsenal remains uncertain. The hope was that he could provide the experience and quality to help push the club to new heights, but that hasn't materialized yet. With the emergence of Arsenal's younger players and the pressure to maintain their upward trajectory, Sterling's future with the club could be in serious jeopardy. This is make or break time for the 30-year-old. He has a limited window to prove himself at the Emirates. Will he rise to the challenge and show why he was once considered one of the Premier League's brightest stars? Or will he fade into the background, a footnote in a season that promised so much more? The next few months will be pivotal, and Arsenal fans will be watching closely, hoping to see Sterling rediscover his best form. But for now, his future in North London is hanging in the balance. The match against Villa began with the kind of energy that Arsenal fans love to see. Right from the first whistle, Arteta's side looked dominant, with quick passing, fluid attacking play, and a real sense of purpose in everything they did. Within the first half, the Gunners had a 2-goal lead, one that was deserved given the way they controlled the tempo of the game. There was fluidity in attack, sharp movement off the ball, and a defense that looked solid for the most part. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli were linking up beautifully, creating chances with pace and precision. It seemed like a matter of time before Arsenal would put the game to bed and add another goal to seal the victory. But Aston Villa had other plans. Villa's manager, Unai Emery, got his team to respond in the second half with much more intensity. Villa came out with renewed energy, pressing high and making life difficult for Arsenal at the back. Within minutes of the restart, they pulled one back, and you could feel the momentum shift. Suddenly, Arsenal, who had been cruising, found themselves under pressure. Villa didn't stop there. Soon enough, they had leveled the score, and Arsenal's 2-goal cushion was gone in a flash. The match that had seemed to be slipping into Arsenal's control was now a frantic battle. Despite some solid chances to take back the lead, including a few near misses, Arsenal couldn't find that decisive goal. Villa, on the other hand, showed grit and determination, frustrating the Gunners at every turn. In the end, a 2-2 draw felt like a punch in the gut for Arteta's men, especially when they knew they'd been so close to victory. When the final whistle blew, Arteta wasted no time in speaking about the performance, and his words carried the weight of the match. He was proud, there's no doubt about that, but also undeniably frustrated. "We were unbelievable," Arteta said with clear admiration for his players' effort and performance. He was quick to highlight how dominant his team had been in the opening stages, how fluid they looked in attack, and the resilience they showed throughout the game. It was clear that, despite the result, Arteta believed his team had given everything they had. But here's the thing. Arteta is a manager who values winning above all else. And while he was proud of the effort, the results simply didn't sit right with him. We played 3 games in 6 days. So proud of them, but at the same time, so disappointed. We didn't get it, and we are sad because of that, he said. The mixed emotions in his voice were palpable. On the one hand, he saw the work rate, the fluidity, and the attacking style his team displayed. On the other, he couldn't ignore the fact that his players had come so close to securing 3 points and didn't. Arteta's approach is to always look at the bigger picture, and this result was a reminder that even in dominant displays, there's still room for improvement. For Arsenal to truly compete at the top, they need to finish these games off when they're in control. It's moments like this that show Arteta's growth as a manager. He's learned to balance praise with accountability. He knows how good his team can be, but he also knows that performances like these need to translate into wins. The frustration wasn't just about this match. It's about making sure that games like this don't slip away again in the future. In his post-match comments, Arteta made it clear that effort and determination were the heart of his team's performance. He was deeply proud of how hard his players worked, especially considering the fatigue that comes with playing 3 matches in such a short space of time. We were dominant, we were fluid, we put so much into it, Arteta said. These weren't just words of encouragement. They were a reflection of commitment his players showed on the pitch. For Arteta, it wasn't about the result alone. It was about the attitude, the approach, and the desire to win that he saw in his team. But that doesn't mean Arteta was entirely satisfied. Despite the effort, despite the fluidity, there was a deep sense of frustration that Arsenal hadn't gotten the result they felt they deserved. For Arteta, it's not enough to just play well. It's about ensuring those performances translate into positive outcomes. As much as he admired the team's attitude, the reality is that dropping points in a match you dominated can be a hard pill to swallow. Arteta was clear about this. We deserve more. There's no beating around the bush here. Arteta's disappointment wasn't just about a missed opportunity. It was about the potential that was left untapped. He believes in his team's ability, and he knows they're capable of much more than what they showed in that final scoreline. Looking beyond just this one match, Arsenal face a crucial challenge as they navigate the rest of the season. While performances like the one against Villa are encouraging, the key for Arteta is turning these into consistent victories. If Arsenal want to stay in the hunt for the top spots, they need to be more ruthless in these kinds of games. Yes, Villa was tough. Yes, they fought back, but Arsenal should have had enough to seal the win. This match is a microcosm of the challenges that lie ahead for Arsenal. They've shown they can compete with the best, but the question is, can they do it consistently? Arsenal will need to stay focused, particularly with a hectic schedule ahead. The Premier League is unforgiving, and while it's great to play exciting football, it's the points on the board that matter. Arteta knows that if Arsenal want to stay competitive, they'll need to refine their finishing and focus on keeping their composure when the game is there for the taking. No more letting leads slip. No more drawing when victory is within reach. After the final whistle, Arsenal fans were quick to react. On one hand, many were proud of the attacking football and the determination shown by the team. There's no denying that the squad has talent, and performances like these prove that Arteta has built something special. On the other hand, there was frustration in the air. Arsenal fans have seen this story before, dominant performances that don't lead to victories. That's the hard reality. Fans know that if the team wants to challenge for titles or finish in the top spots, they can't afford to drop points like this. There's also a growing conversation about squad depth. With a packed fixture list and a demanding Premier League season ahead, can Arsenal keep up the same level of intensity? There are murmurs of potential signings in January, with some fans hoping that Arteta can strengthen key areas like defense and midfield. Others are questioning whether certain players are fit enough to handle the rigors of the season. Whatever the solution, it's clear that fans want to see Arsenal move forward and quickly. At the end of the day, Arsenal's 2-2 draw with Villa was a game full of highs and lows. Arteta's pride in his players is evident, but so is his frustration. The team played some fantastic football, but when the final whistle blew, they were left thinking, what could have been? For Arsenal to truly challenge at the top, they need to take these strong performances and turn them into victories. It's a balancing act of effort, consistency, and execution. With big games ahead, it's clear that Arsenal's path to success will be defined by how they handle moments like these. So, what do you think? Can Arsenal take this performance and turn it into a win next time? Or is there more work to be done? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more updates on Arsenal's journey through the Premier League.